We have had a breakthrough, one which has changed the course of human history forever, guys. We believe we've become masters of time and space and have the now capability to create a functional exogate, which is essentially like a wormhole that allows us to selectively choose and travel to strange new worlds. It is finally time for mankind to efficiently discover the mysteries of the universe. My name is Charlie. I'll be your captain in this video, which is sponsored by Xenobits. Thank you very much for that support. Xenobits has created the EXOGATE Initiative. Now, I was just going to make this video, show you the game, my take on it. That's what the contract's for. But the more I play this, I went in there and I've played around with this. I lost track of time. I began to like to play it. I began loving this game. It's just fun. So now it's the beginning of a far more lengthy adventure. This is version 1.0. I hope you'll stick around for additional videos in the future. Let's hit new game. There's an initiation. If you're new to the game, you should totally, do this first. Link in the description, by the way, if you want to see more about it. I'm going to go with free play. I think free play is fine for me. We're going to choose challenging difficulty, which I assume will be more challenging than peaceful, but not quite extreme. And then we have the mission event frequency. This also kind of determines the difficulty a little bit too. If you choose low, then a lot of your missions will sort of be autonomous. Okay, you're going to focus more on the management side of the base and a lot less on managing their explorations. Okay, balanced, of course, is going to be kind of a midway point. And then there's high, which is a narrative of kind of your own space odyssey. Okay, you get to kind of see more hazards and be more frequently involved in the exploration process of these worlds, which I think is really fun. I'm going to do that. We're going to go high. Okay. Invaders. Yep. We could be hostile forces can come in and invade us. And we're obviously going to have enemy factions as well. In the advanced tab, I realize it's experimental and can greatly impact performance, but I'm going to choose it. I have a really beefy computer, so we're going to do an unlimited gator possibility. Okay. We're going to come down. I'm going to leave everything default exactly the way it is, and we'll talk about what those settings mean. But we have science victories possible, influence victories possible, knowledge, or material victories. And each one of these has a condition that's popping up on the screen. You can read it if you'd like to, but I'm going to leave it exactly the way it is, which is to say that our game length will be limited to 100 months. Now, I can also go and increase those number of months. So maybe I want this to go 10 years. Right? 10 years actually sounds nice, doesn't it? Let's go 120 months. 10 years, okay? At 10 years, the game is over, and whoever has the highest score wins, okay? And I think I'm just going to do it that way because I don't care so much about winning as much as I do just exploring the game. That's all I really care about. We're going to try to win based on score, but I don't care if we do. Let's hit start. And of course, if you guys like this video, please be sure to like, hit the comments for the all algorithms stuff, and subscribe and all that stuff that all the YouTubers just ask you ad nauseum to do. Okay, we're going to start like this. I'm going to pause it because there's a little bit of time here. We're going to start with 3 little builder bots, and they are responsible for building out our EXOGATE base. And there's quite a fair bit of a space here. It's got a very evil genius sort of vibe to it. You might get that vibe from it. Science without conscience. Science without conscience is but the ruin of the soul. Oh, okay. I'd never heard it before, but that's probably a famous quote that I'm just not familiar with. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We need to expand out our base. And the first thing I want to do is figure out where people are going to be sleeping. And I think I'm going to build out the base, their sleeping quarters and stuff. I think it's going to be probably right in here. So I can make this wider if I want to kind of widen out the halls. Or I can just use it. And I think I'm just going to use this as like a little locker room sort of thing here. So let's go ahead and build this out about that. Where do I want people to sleep? I want people to sleep in here? I think I do, yeah. Let's go like this. We're going to say this area here is their sleeping quarters. Let me just kind of get a feel for this space. So 2, 4, walkway, lockers. Yeah, I like that. We're going to go a little bit further though. And then right there will be where they're going to stay. So we're going to start digging into that first. All right. Then I want their, let's do the mess hall next, where they're going to eat their food and stuff. And I think I'm just going to pop that right here for now. And we'll let them dig into that side. Then the laboratory. We're going to put, I think probably the lab would be, let's build it right through here. And we'll make this fairly good size. We'll go about that big, I guess, for now. That'll be where our lab is. And then I finally need a power room. And let's make the power room, we'll start with it being about that big. That seems good to me. Okay, while they're building this, let's start recruiting people. So I'm going to go into here, and the people are called gators, which essentially people who go through the gates, right? So we're going to start a new campaign, and initially all we can recruit are scientists. These are people that are going to be going out and getting samples and studying the worlds that we're going to, right? They're the ones coming up with all the answers of the universe here. We have 3 different sliders we can do, and there's tutorial messages are on. I'll read them if I'm confused or if I think it will help with context, but for the most part, I think I can explain most of the basics of the game here. So the candidate max is essentially what we're going to be paying them every month. If we offer more money every month, we'll get more people interested, right? If we offer less, we'll have less people interested. I'm going to go 4. I think that's a good balance here. We want to really, you'll see it as we continue with multiple videos here. It gets pretty tricky to keep your money up. You'll see why. So we want to limit our expenses as much as possible here. I'm going to go 10 days on the campaign because the longer we look, the more people we can get. And if I spend more money on more effective advertising, I might be able to get more people too. But let's say, let's look at maybe getting 7 for 16. We can maybe get 7 people under this. I think 7's a good number. Let's go 7. Maybe 8. That's a lot more money for that 8th person. Let's not do that. Yeah, let's go 7 right here for 16. Okay. So this should get us 7 people interested. I like it. And that means we're going to need space for 7. We're going to need food for 7. All right. We're going to need a laboratory for 7. All right. Got to support these people too. At the top of the screen, you can see how much money we have. At the moment, it's 184,000. And the committee who's organizing this EXOGATE initiative is going to be providing us with a fund, like an allowance of $50,000 per month. But the committee will only be doing that for the first year. After that, we're on our own. Okay, we're going to make this room the barracks where people are going to be sleeping. There we go. And then they have to go in here and mark the room. So first they clear it out. They give us the nice flooring. Then we designate the room, and then they make that flooring, you know, something we can actually use. I guess they just designate the room, and then we can build in it, essentially. I can also get more builders. So right now we have 1 builder per room right here. If I want to maybe get that helping, I can come over here and pop that button, and I can get another builder. That button, though, cost me $5,000. Eventually, that's going to be worth it, because these builders, they also are responsible for restocking. They're our logistics engine of moving material around. Material that's not scientific material anyway. And they're also the little bots that do all the maintenance on everything. So all of our equipment requires maintenance, ongoing, all the time. And the little bots are responsible for doing that. And so if you have more equipment, the bigger the base gets, essentially, the more maintenance is required, and therefore the more bots you will need. Okay, so you can see that these rooms are being designated now 1 tile at a time is how they do it. And we can also speed up time, so let's go ahead and do that really quick. Now we want to keep an eye on this Gators button right here. We have 2 days left until these guys show up, and then we need to go ahead and hire them. So when this thing starts blinking, I got to make sure I go, because it could expire, and some of these guys are not going to wait around for your call, right? They're going to say, oh, yeah, I'll leave a message, and I'm going to leave a message, and if I don't call back, they just won't care, all right? All right, let's stop. So we have some scientists in here. So we have when you, and I'm going to go ahead and explain this now. So every scientist, and really every candidate at all, doesn't matter what their job is, they all have 6 stats. They have their body, which affects maximum health and fatigue, like the physical health and fatigue. They have their mind strength, which is mental health and fatigue, as well as their brain fatigue tolerance and frequency in which they need recreation. So if they have a higher tolerance for stuff, you know, they can keep their head down and work for longer without needing recreation, that kind of thing. Perception is aiming skill, damage dealt with weapons. They're scientists. I don't expect that to be very high. Social affects how well they interact socially with other people, and that includes during recreational activities. So if they're better at this stuff, they may not need to do it for as long to replenish, right? Every time they have to go replenish it. We have knowledge, affects study and research speed. And then we have logic, which affects their brain tolerance as well as their study and research speed. Lots and lots of stuff here. All right. There's a balancing act in this game where you want to keep everybody healthy mentally and physically. So you have to provide for that possibility. And that sometimes means taking a break and not going back out and exploring worlds for a couple of days just to get everybody to be like, oh, finally, we had a little bit of a break, right? Sometimes that's what that means. So when you, I believe he's from China. We have United States. We got Lucas Alameda from Brazil. And you can see how each person has different traits as well as a different wage that they expect. Okay. So Tim Robinson, you got a Brit here. Let's go ahead and grab you. Josh Brown, I'm going to grab everybody here, but he's kind of expensive though. 3,900. Josh Brown's not kidding around. Alex Johnson, we'll go ahead and get you. I think I'll probably just get everybody here, but I just wanted to kind of explain how that stuff works. All right. So Lucas Almeida, we'll go ahead and get you. Lauren Johnson, get you. And then we'll get you. Yeah. All right, cool. So we got all of these guys. The first initial hires, 7 scientists coming in. All right. That's going to give us a jump start, but it also means that we have high wages right away. So everybody comes down on the elevator, and now they're all like, hey, man, where's the food at? Where's my bed? Right? All of them are going to want beds and lockers and stuff, which is why we're going to provide that right now. So I'm going to pop some lockers in over on this side. We're going to put some beds in over here. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I can't place it until the room is designated for the type, for that type of, well, yeah. I can't make a bed until I get a room that's appropriate for a bed. Put it that way. Let's get the lockers in. There we go. So that should take care of our people and allow for a little bit of expansion possibilities as well. So that's their bed and lockers. Next, over here on this side, we're going to make this into a mess hall, and this is going to be our power room. And we're going to need power pretty quickly. We don't need it right away, but we're going to need it quickly anyway. So what I could do is I'm just going to mark this as a power room. Yep. And I'm also going to mark this as the mess hall. And I want to mark the whole thing as a mess hall, so we'll do that too. There we go. Okay. So that whole thing is a mess hall. So we have the barracks where they sleep, where they store their stuff. Now we need a laboratory. That's over here. So the lab is right here, and that's where all the scientists are going to love it. Now, in addition to all these things, these gators really like to be in closed areas. They don't like to be open in areas. So, in other words, it's nice to give them, maybe like a narrow entrance and not keep the whole thing wide open because they get fatigued faster in bigger, wide open spaces. I'm going to also provide doors to help secure the place down. Because you wouldn't want to sleep in a place where you can hear everything going on. So doors as well. I'm not going to bother with the door to the power room though, at least not right away. And then I'm going to buy some initial power capacity too. Okay. I think we're pretty much ready to get started here on the EXOGATE initiative and what it's really about. And that is exploration. So let's go to the star map. So this is how the star map initially starts. And we can zoom out and it goes out this far. So there's a lot of planets here. Okay. Don't see this as how the solar system is organized. Rather, see this as a way of mapping close worlds that are closer to us, and then worlds that are further and further away. In order to get to farther away worlds, you need to pass through areas that you already have influence through. So in other words, I need to connect to this one, and then I have to go through that connection to get to another one, and then through that connection to get to another one. Every connection I make gets progressively more expensive. So in this case, this destination right here is going to cost 20 energy to connect to. That's just the connection. That means we now have 80 left. We start with 100 energy. That's our baseline. And then I can add more power generators, which is what I just started doing, adding 1. But that's going to add more power for us. So our baseline is essentially the equivalent of 1 small generator. This connection costs 20. We can disconnect it whenever we want. Get that 20 back. But we cannot go forward more without getting that connection on. But the cool thing is you can make the connection really quick and see what's next to it, right? So I can do this. I can see these different things that are next to it already. So that gives me an idea of what's over there. All right. So now we have an idea of what's going on. I love planets with rings. We can also get a little bit of a preliminary look at their recommended levels. So we know whether or not they have, different dangers, or maybe you're recommended to be a higher level, things like that, right? So why don't we go ahead and we'll go to this one first. So we'll say we'll keep this connection open. We're going to create a mission here. we need a team for that. A team consists of 3 gators, and we can choose different badging and stuff, different colors and stuff. We can kind of just play around with what we want. This is fine for me. So XO1 is going to be blue, and this. Go ahead and create it. And then we need to choose the gators that are part of this team. Initially, we just have scientists, but eventually it's going to be interesting to have other types of jobs on these, like soldiers or medics can come on these missions with us to try to help in mitigating some of the risks and pitfalls that go and are associated with it. Whoever I choose first is going to be the team captain. I don't remember who has the best stats, to be honest. So I guess I'll just choose somebody. Johnson, you're our team captain. We will put Almeida with you, and let's put you with you. Okay. So we've got all you guys, and that's our first team. You are going to be popped into this mission. Now, the mission has a certain difficulty. It's actually recommending that we have level 2 gators for this, but I think our team can handle it. All right. Each destination has a recommended level. Yep. And there's also an injury chance. We know this planet is safe. It's our very first expedition. It's a safe one. But if there was an injury chance, we can mitigate that by having soldiers on the team. The injury severity is at 100%. That's just 100% of whatever the injuries are going to be. Doesn't mean that you're at maximum injury. It just means maximum of whatever the dangers of the planet are. So that's fluctuating. It's a fluctuating 100%, okay? We can mitigate that, though, by having medics on the team. If that makes sense. Okay, let's go ahead and tell them to go. So that's the team. You can see what they're thinking about. They got their mind on the mission. They're going to open up the door, and they are going to be our first pioneers into the unknown to explore strange new worlds. But to do so from a giant underground secret bunker, which just happens to have a giant wormhole instead of having a starship. Okay, the mess hall requires things for them to eat, okay? So they're going to be hungry. So we're going to get a couple of meal stations, and then we're going to also put in some tables. I guess we'll go with these 2 tables to start. And you know what? I think maybe... Yeah, it's okay. I can move them later. I was going to separate them by 1 so they can walk between them. Because they have to be able to walk between them, so... But it's going to be fine. They're there. Now, these things are going to automatically order food. So there's an order in progress. We'll pay for that. And then our builders are also, like I said, our logistics engine. They will be moving around and making those deliveries. It is the end of the first month. The committee, like I said, is going to be providing us with $50,000 every month, but they're only doing that for the first year. So there's 11 months remaining of getting $50,000. After that, we need to be creating patents, and we'll talk about that in a second. We need to be able to sustain our own expenses at that point. All right. Right now, our salaries are just under $25,000. So we need to be able to get this number to $25,000. That's what we need to do. That's going to be tough. At the end of each month, we receive a financial summary of things, et cetera, et cetera. That's what I just did. Now, this month, if we were trying to find people to hire, there are going to be fewer applicants for scientists. So we can hire other people, but scientists, we're just going to have to pay more to get them interested. Okay. And this month's patent trends. Medical treatment is down. Cold resistance is up. For whatever reason, could be like current events, news stories. Maybe there's a condition somewhere off in space somewhere. We need to have more cold resistance. Whatever the case is, there's a reason for medical treatment patents to be paying less this month and cold resistance patents to be paying more this month. So if we have patents in these categories, that's how they will be affected. Okay. Speaking of patents, let's talk about that. Our lab is going to require some place to store specimens, biological samples, etc. So I'm going to have 4 of these things. And when we find them on expeditions, we bring them back to the lab. We need a place to store them until we can look at them. Okay. We also need a place where we can research them. So biosample study desks are a good thing too. And we'll put that right here. And then I'll put another one right next to it. I think it's probably a good idea. So that they can stand in here and, do all the studying that they want to do. Okay. Then once we have the data, we need to be able to apply it for research. That's where a research desk would come in. We're going to put that right over here. And then finally, once we have that going and we have the data and stuff, we can now get from our discoveries, we've come up with theories by studying the samples. We now need to create patents. And patents are where we're going to start making that money, hopefully. So we'll go ahead and put a patent desk right there. So these guys are done. Their first mission is over. They've come back with biological samples, all right? And these biological samples need to be studied, of course, just like I said. Most of the time, hopefully, I haven't seen what it's like with high frequency. I was playing with balance before, but in a lot of cases, hopefully with more than I've experienced so far, we actually get to provide input into what their mission is. So they will be like, hey boss, we got this thing, and this is what we got. And then it's gonna give me options, and I get to help drive that story and make decisions to either hopefully the benefit or the detriment of the mission, okay? So we're gonna be involved in the discovery process, which is great. So they've come back with specimens. You can see this one's inside the tank. It's got the green light and everything. And they're studying it, right? Trying to figure out what's going on with it, trying to get more science. And right now we've got 46 science points, 47 science points, right? We're just earning them as we go, okay? We're gonna be able to apply that science to research, and that's gonna help us progress even further. Right now we have 51 science points. I can tell you with pretty good confidence that that's not enough to get anything in this list, but as we go, we're gonna be getting more stuff in this list. And the first thing I'm gonna get is a med bay. And I'm probably gonna get a training room next after that. Both of those things are gonna require 100. And then we unlock these different trees that are associated with those things, okay? So let's go exploring. Now, we can also claim things as well. So we've gone here, we've seen the things how they are, and based on that experience of seeing it, we can see that there's high scientific potential here. So we could potentially go and put in a science expedition to go back there, put up an expedition room, and have this significantly more involved search and get more science stuff, get more samples, get more fauna, flora, etc. That requires us to have an operations room, which I don't have yet. We're going to claim this using our influence, and the more places we have, the more influence we'll get. So influence will grow faster as we do, okay? And around our homeworld is probably a good idea, because remember, there are other factions, which means we're going to be competing for the same resources, okay? Might be conflicts. And if they can somehow take over things and they get to our homeworld, it's probably game over, right? So we don't want them to be able to do that. So we could potentially connect over here, but you'll notice that it's red. And the red means there's not enough power, right? I got power, right? I added this, but the EXOGATE is not the only thing that's using power. All this equipment is using power too. And so now I need to expand to have more power. So we'll spend a few $1,000s to expand our power reserves here too. And again, the more equipment we have, the more maintenance we need as well. So once these things are built, we should be able to now go on anything we want. Okay, so let's make another team. We'll go on 2 at a time here, I think. Let's go this way. We'll create a new team for this. And the other one was blue, right? I think we'll go with, yeah, we can go with the same blue. Maybe a darker blue this time. And I see their logo, so why don't we go with like something that's similar but not quite the same? How about like something like this? That seems good. So this will be EXO2. That's fine. And we can see these guys are on the team. Let's pick 3 different people for this team. You can see they have some needs, right? They're already doing something. They're sleeping, they're resting, they're eating, etc. So you want to have like a mixture of everybody here. So let's go Tim Robinson. Makes sense that Robinson would be leading a team. Jay Brown and Jadev, I think is how you say it. Anjali, there he goes. We'll do that. And then we'll have you guys go on this one. This is your first assignment on a level 1 world. Should be no problem. Experience is plus 6% because of their affinity. I'm not entirely sure what that's about, but cool. We'll go ahead. I guess because they've met each other, right? That's what I assume it is. They've met each other. They've talked to each other. They like each other. They know each other. So they have a higher affinity with each other. I would assume that's what that is. Let's go ahead and connect to this one. And we can also open up a connection here just to see what's down there, okay? So we'll go this way. And we'll send Alex Johnson's team on this mission. Plus 200% on the experience on this one. Perfect. Let's go. So we'll send both of these teams out at the same time, man. I missed the opportunity. I'm going to say it anyway. 2 teams at the same time, man. And so this is going to leave us essentially with 1 lone scientist, which isn't necessarily the greatest thing in the world. Because they have needs. And those needs include social needs as well. So they have no one to talk to. that could be a pretty stressful situation too. Down in this bunker all alone with no one to talk to. Be pretty stressful. At least it could be. So we want to get them some help too. So we're going to get another campaign here. And remember, scientists aren't recruited very fast this month. Yeah, let's wait on that. You're just going to have to be lonely for just a little bit longer. I'm sorry. Now we have really nothing to do for those other guys. So why don't we get another room cut in? We're going to want to have a medical lab at some point. And I'm going to go this far to make ourselves a med bay so people have a place that they can get fixed up. Okay. So we currently have 65 signs. It's not enough. But if we go to the patents tab, our first source of revenue in the game is what it says. Now, we can write a new patent. We can either do it from this menu here, or we can click this desk and write it. And patents come in different topics. There's lots of different topics, right? Right now, we have energy source patents and food source. Based on what we've seen, and I got to respond to this. Based on what we've seen so far, these are the topics that we can create patents on right now. And having 2 rare theories is pretty good. So these are different theories. They come in uncommon, common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary. Here we go. This is what I'm talking about right here. XO2 has something to say. Come in, XO. We've encountered a forested area on BS 323, which is remarkable in itself, but there's something else. Animals! They're hopping all over the place like rabbits. Alien life described them. Stay back and observe, which uses our perception skill, so he'll have like, RNG, a little bit of roll, right? Or see if you can grab one of them, body skill. We don't really have a whole lot of that stuff, so we probably won't be able to do those types of things, but perception might be more possible. Let's stay back and observe. We don't know if they're dangerous either. They could be very dangerous too. So let's just stay back and observe. And he failed the test on perception anyway. Will do. They're too hard to follow. They're bouncing all over the place. Not sure what else I can do. Just get closer and observe. Okay, leave it to me. I'll compile a report. Okay, so if we're trying to catch them, it's possible we would have been able to get them, but with the body rating as 1, they're hopping around like bunnies. You're probably not going to get them. I'd rather they fail in observation than fail and get hurt when I don't have any medics. All right, XO2. All right, observations are in, and, well, these aren't animals after all. They're plants. Mobile plants. Whoa. What does their behavior tell you about their origin? Perception skill, and there's a 55% chance of success. He still failed it. There are about a dozen of them hopping about. They seem to travel in a circular motion around this whole area. They're also kind of cute. Okay, cool. Can you take one with you? We tried to chase one down a while back. No dice. They're too fast. Right. All right, let's call it there. Complete your data gathering and continue on the mission. Cool. That's it. And then whatever they are, we won't be carrying any away today, though I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. We earned 22 science points anyway. Let's let nature take its course there. What's next? Continue exploration. Okay. So those are the kinds of decisions we can make. And we can do that with most worlds. I would assume with high as our setting for this, we would be able to do it for most worlds, but we'll see. I'm going to add one more power source in here too. Okay, so we have 2 desks to explore biosamples, but if we get any type of like animals, we don't actually have a place to store them anyway. Even if we could have grabbed the bunnies, we don't have a way to, or I guess they're mobile plants, right? We wouldn't have been able to do anything with them because we don't have a specimen containment. And for that, we need research to unlock specimen containment. So since we don't have it, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. We wouldn't have been able to use it yet. All right, so patents. Yeah, they have the biosamples. That's fine. Let's write a patent on an energy source. For the patent creation, we need a scientist working on the patent writing console. We can choose up to 5 theories to write about the patent. The more theories we have, the more revenue it will earn, but the longer it will take the scientist to write. Theory quality and the writer's knowledge attributes also affect how much the patent will earn. So you want people with really high knowledge stats to be writing these patents. At the moment, I don't really have a need to write a patent. Okay, this is maybe a little controversial. I don't have a need to write a patent yet because I have the committee funding me. But I can store a lot of theories. Patents and the amount of money they earn you decrease over time. So unless I have someone really knowledgeable and I have a bonus to their earnings for that month, I don't really need the patent. Like, I don't need to make the patent yet, right? So we're going to hang on to it just for a little bit. That's the pause menu. I was looking for the bonus, whether it was going to tell me what the bonus is this month. I forgot how to see what that is from the financial statement. I don't know. Maybe it's here somewhere and I just don't see it. It's fine. I don't think it matters. Anyway, we have 12 more hours until the other team is back, and then they will probably have a debrief. There we go. Yep, they've earned experience, and they are now level 2. And they didn't bring anything back with them, but they're level 2. Now, I could send them on a mission right away. I could. But they're hungry. They're tired. They need to rest. They want to communicate and converse with people in the hallway. These are all things that help with their mental health. So you can't just send people on missions all the time. Okay? But I think maybe I could see... Who's my dude that's got, like, the best knowledge stat? Like, where's the best knowledge stat at here? So this is a 3. All right. Almeida's got a 3. If I could look at everybody's knowledge stat. 3. Is there somebody with a 4? I thought I had somebody with higher stats there. But I guess maybe not. Here we go. When you. So when you could be writing the patents. Yeah. Let's have him write one. Let's just earn that money. All right. So we have an energy source 1 patent right here. We have 3 theories on it now. So what we can do is we have a rare. The rare one will take 2 days, and we'll earn about 37.61. That's monthly, by the way. Or I can add the second theory. Now we get a 40% bump to that, and now it can earn a whole lot more. 11,000 now. That seems like it's more than 40%. Or I can add the third rare one, and now it's worth even more. And now we're going to be earning 17,000 every month. Now that does not replace the 50,000 the committee is giving us, right? But it's a nice chunk of change. And as long as it offsets our expenses, we can keep all of the money the committee is sending us. So let's have him write this. It'll take 6 days to write this patent. And that is going to be going to Wu because he has the highest knowledge. So we'll see how that goes. That means whatever team Wu is on, we need him to not be able to go on anything. So what I could probably do, though, also, is I could go in to the team that Wu is on. Let's put him off of this team, and we'll stick Lauren Johnson on this team instead. Okay? So now when Yu is off of the team, and that means when I send people out to expeditions, he doesn't have anything else to do. So he should be over here on this console writing the patent. Okay? So here he goes. He's going to come over here and sit. That is look at that console, man. That is some futuristic computers. Or it just has a lot of screens and to make it look like it's a futuristic computer. But what it actually is a Pentium 4. I have no idea. All right. So we have unquestionable scientific potential here. We don't actually know. And it's claiming it is pretty expensive, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. So we'll get more there on that side. Right here is a low scientific potential, it says. But it's okay. But we also want to just take a look at which planets still have things going, because claiming this, there's nothing here, right? So, I mean, if there's no threat from this side, because again, the threats could potentially come from any direction, and they'll have to go through the gates in the same order, I assume. I don't actually know that, but I assume that's the way it'll be. Let's connect to this one really quick, and we'll start a mission here, and we'll send you guys on this mission. Now, they may not go right away. Actually, their experiences, they're not really cohesive as a team yet, are they? Maybe we'll send you guys, but you're not going to go right away because all of their people are not ready, right? So Anjali here is too hungry, so they're going to eat first, right? Same thing. Already doing something else, sleeping, can't go right away. Their cohesiveness is a little bit better, but since I just kind of juggled the team, they kind of need to learn their own team sort of thing. So I'm gonna, I can let them go, but that'll help them get cohesive just by doing things. And we need samples. We need samples quite badly. Let's go into the science thing. We have 176 science points. We're going to go to medbay now. And I'm going to start to unlock that. Now, as I unlock that, scientists will now go over to the research desk and begin to study medbay. So we'll have that going too. All right. And once we've unlocked the medbay, we can then get the medical bay situated here. We can start getting medbay equipment stuff. And we can start getting doctors. And then if we get injured on a mission, we at least have a way to heal it, diagnose it and heal it. Monthly budget is up. We're not making anything on patents. But we did get our $50,000. Bioweapon is down. Radiation resistance is up. We're not doing a patent in any of those things. right? We're doing a patent in a totally different topic, so that doesn't matter too much. Oh, there they go. Okay, so in case you're curious about the score and how you win, let's take a look at the aliens and artifacts menu as well. So this area is going to be looking for, we can actually see the factions, okay? We're going to be able to see information about the factions if we've met them before. We also are going to have a lot of unknowns about them unless we study them. There's an alien affairs room and equipment and stuff for that, so that we can learn a little bit more about the other factions as well. But there are artifacts out there to collect. You need a person of that job type to collect an artifact of that job type. And if you can collect all of the artifacts within that category, you get a bonus added to you. So in other words, if I collect all 4 science artifacts, then scientific theories developed have a 0% chance of being better quality. I don't know what that means. Plus 20% when all artifacts. Oh, I see. That's the current thing, right? We have a 0% chance of being better quality because we have no bonuses. But if we get all of them, then we get a plus 20%. Okay. Bad example probably there. Medicine, same thing. There are 4 to get. We get 20%. Healing is more efficient. Okay. Just like little things like that. I'm sure there are some that are, very valuable compared to others. The diplomatic one seems interesting to me. Missions, send diplomatic missions to other factions' homeworlds for a chance to receive diplomatic gifts, which grant custom bonuses, 1 per faction. So if we can get the borderless conscious to give us their artifact, it reduces our sector's claim cost by 13%. The Zodiac cohort increases Gator XP gain by 6%, right? And then there's Phallus Reapers. So now you know the name of all these factions. Increased astral sale price by 14%, whatever that is. So there's a lot of things like that. And then finally, we can see our rankings, which, as you can see, we already know for sure these Reapers are in second, okay? I'm not sure how we know this, but we know. We're all tied for first here at this point. Okay, so now you have a little bit of a more understanding about what we're on against. It's getting technologies unlocked, getting ourselves famous, maybe, getting artifacts to help us get bonuses, and of course, writing patents to get lots of money. At least that's the beginning. In the future, we're going to go into things like the workshop, for example, where we can begin to gather resources on planets, like different types of ore and stuff, process them into different types of metals, and we can create things that we can sell for profit with, get engineers, and they can start working on making things that we can sell for profits as well. That is also another way to make money, and we're going to have to use every tool we can to make that happen, because as you can see by our budget, that 50,000 is the only reason we're still alive right now, right? And that's not going to last more than a year. So yeah, it's going to get a little bit gnarly. These guys are done with their mission. They brought back a bunch of biosamples. Pretty nice. And did we get our... We did. And we're over 100 again. So let's go ahead and grab the training room now, too. So we can go ahead and unlock that. And we'll figure out where that's going to go. In the meantime, this is our medical area. So medical facility. This is going to cost us $14,400. Because the room size, you pay for that, too. So there we go. And obviously, this will have a door as well, because they want to work in a place that's enclosed. Now for the training room, I wonder if we can maybe put the training room. I think maybe we'll put that back here. I think maybe we'll put that back here. So let's say, I don't know if I want to make this smaller. I'll probably make this bigger at some point, though, right? I could put it on this side. Probably make this bigger too. Let's put it over here. Let's say the training room is all the way back against the wall. So the training room will end up being... Maybe we'll start it here for now. Just this big for now will be our training room. Training room is a good room. It also unlocks the ability to get soldiers as well, in addition to them also training stuff. Okay, we need physical treatment dispenser. So let's get, I guess that. We'll get the psychological treatment dispenser. There we go. Okay, that allows us to, dispense the treatments. We have a lot of different equipment here, so I might not have a big enough room. I might need a bigger one. We'll see. We need a psychological diagnostic desk. So we can put that over here, looks like. It takes up a lot of space, doesn't it? I mean, you got to be able to approach it from one side, and yeah, I'm going to need more room. This is not enough room. Okay, so we'll go like this. Yep, that's the psychological diagnostic desk. Then there's the diagnostic pad for physical injuries. So this pad will help diagnose physical injuries, and we'll go like that with this. All right, and then finally we need just a bed for them to lay in too. But I'm going to need this room to be bigger. It is to be too small, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and make it just a little bit bigger. We'll go, I think like that, and then maybe I'll even go further. Now we'll be fine. For now, I think we'll be fine right there. Yeah, there we go. And then we're going to want another recruitment campaign. This time we can go after medics if we'd like to. And let's get at least... I think we want to get at least 2 medics. So we'll go down to 3,000. And then we'll bump the duration up here so we can get 3 of them. Nice. Like this. So we'll choose between 3. And maybe we'll take 3 anyway. Because I want to also make additional teams, right? So we can go on more expeditions. I want to be able to go faster here. And why don't we go ahead and claim that one. And we can go and connect with this one and allow this team to go after this one real quick. This a little bit more experience bump there too. Because as we start getting further and further out, we're going to have more dangers, and we're going to want to have soldiers and stuff with us, and potentially medics on the mission too, right? We're going to want to have people out there with these guys. I think I am going to expand this in this direction. Like this. It'll be 2 beds, and then like that. So we'll have rows of beds basically going all the way back like that. This is going to be our training room. It is done. Here we go. Training room is going to be there. And of course, we want to make sure there's a door there too. All right. So these guys already did this. Let's go and expand this. Training is good. I'll talk about that in a second. Let's go ahead and grab the med bay though. It's a very expensive room. My gosh, so expensive. It's necessary though. You want to keep your people healthy. So got to do it. And then we're just going to expand this out. We don't really need to do anything here yet, but we're just going to make that bigger so I have it. And then here's our training room, and we're going to want to get some equipment in here. So the 2 first things we have access to first in the training room are our bench press. And I think I'll just go ahead and have 2 of those for now. And then we also have the shooting range. So the bench press grants body XP, working on those biceps. I'm not sure why a bench press would be working on biceps. I guess they're certainly not what you would do, I don't think, to work on biceps very well, but all right. Pecs, I guess pecs would be better here for this description. And then the shooting range grants perception XP by testing your aim. Perception experience. And we'll put that along the wall back here. And I think for now we'll just have 1. We'll go light on the training equipment because it is quite expensive. So just go on it really quick here. In general, if something is a one-time cost, it's not a big deal to pay for it once. But you know, it's not. You can only sell things for 50% of what you bought them for, right? So gotta be careful with that. Waiting bot delivery. Holy moly, you guys are. Am I getting another bot? I might need another bot already. Yikes! All right, medics. Real lame on the skills. Hi, Josh Lee. You're hired. What's this one? Mind strength. Yeah, I like that. You're hired too. Who else? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'll just choose the one that's cheapest. You're hired. Okay, we have 3 medics. Now that's probably a little bit overboard, but again, I'm trying to make a diverse range of teams here. I need another team. So what I want to do now is I'm going to take, I think, let's take Angeli out of this team, and we'll put Maggie Kelly in here instead. So now that team has a medic, and we can send this team into places that might have injury risks, and we can send this team there because the medic would help that out, right? This is a full science team, and that's cool and all, but again, having a medic on board, we can mitigate injuries still. So I'm going to say Lauren Johnson's off this team, and I'll put Sachin Patel on the team. So we'll put Patel on the team. So now we have medics on that team. We can create a new team. Let's make this blue as well. They're primarily scientists and stuff. So maybe we'll go like, I don't know, maybe we'll go green with this team. And let's go with, I don't know. How about this symbol here or something? It doesn't really matter, does it? We'll do that. And then this team will have Lauren Johnson. She's already got some experience. She's level 1, though. I don't think she should be captain at level 1, right? Let's let Wu be captain of this team. And you'll go with Johnson and also with... actually, I think I'll keep Lee at home. No, he's got great skills, though. I'll put him on this team. Okay, cool. So now we have 3 teams. Perfect. And we have 106 science. We could go after this. So the next room I actually want to get, though, is the operations. I want to get this one. It's 300, though. That's big. Also, did I just read that correctly? Oh, $1,200 per tile. Yeah, it's really expensive. There's a security room. I guess we could do that. Allows the building of base defenses to secure against potential threats. Could be. I don't know how fast they threaten you. We haven't met anybody yet, so I don't know how much of a risk that really is. What I'd like to go, though, is get the canopy bed. It's a deluxe integrated bed with locker. Has everything the gator needs all in one instead of having to have beds and lockers. And then this bed also recovers a small amount of mental health. And then they had the nap pod. Allows them for accelerated, fully clothed cryo sleep, ensuring maximum gator efficiency, but it's a very expensive little pod. Yeah, and maybe even workshops and stuff too, but we haven't really gotten there yet. I think actually the rec room is probably more important. Just allow them to overcome that fatigue and stuff. So we'll do the operations center, and then I think we'll do the rec room from there. But right here, you can see how the training room works. These guys will just come on and use this, and they'll train their body skills, train their perception skills with this, right? And yeah, so we're moving along. We're getting there. We have medical people now. They're just going to be chilling until we send them on some kind of mission. And actually, I need medical beds, don't I? So let's go with beds. And the medical beds, of course, are going to be there to treat anyone who needs that treatment. We'll put the medical beds back there for now. All right, cool. Guys, I think that is good for episode 1. Thank you so much for joining me for EXOGATE Initiative. I hope you'll join me for the next one as well. Take care. Bye-bye.